Ron Zawacki, how's it going?
Going good, Tony. Can't complain. What a football game to kick off the NFL. We definitely can't complain about that. Definitely one of those ones that came right down to the wire, what we love. And was it a touchdown? I don't think it was. I think he was out. So it is what it is. And Chiefs look real good. That offense, it's going to give it to you. Man, you ever back? Yeah, that Chiefs offense looks way better than what it did last year. And defense just as rough with their big guy in the middle, who's always Chris Jones, always running at you. So
I'm not gonna say
excited for it. Can't wait. And we get a Friday game this week. So I said all year we're gonna get a Friday game, right?
I don't know. I don't think they can. I think there's some Congress bill that did not allow NFL to have a Friday game.
Ramon went over that in detail. They can only do it before the school gets in.
Right. Just to touch on Ramon, he retired from multi-capper sites. He wants to spend more time in high school reporting. That's what he does, high school football and all that. So he wants to spend more time there. So that's why we're here with the morning show. I'm here with the morning show. And Jorge, what do you think about last night's game?
Well, I don't know. I'm not putting out the verdict yet that the offense is so great. What I saw is a bad secondary. Now, Chiefs are going to be able to do what they want, really. If they want to chew up the clock like they did last year on purpose, they'll do it. If they want to run a 200-minute offense, they'll do it. I mean, if they want to run Pacheco 1-2 down, they'll do it. So I think they're obviously, you see Reed when he comes out in the second half. Watch his first set of series. That's what he's going to do to them in the second half. I mean, he's a genius at that. Probably the best, right? So again, no, they look better. They have a couple other receivers. There's no question marks about the receivers dropping balls for sure, Rod. I agree with that. But the question mark is, do they replace, I think, half that secondary, and they don't have the shutdown corner, anymore over there with Baltimore. They don't have Queen. The guy's an intangible leader. Their middle linebacker. So again, I'm a guy. I need 2 games on the road. Tony knows this. I need 2 games on the road and 2 games at home, and then we got a little bit of identity with these guys. You know what I mean? And I'm not disagreeing with you, Rod. Hey, I hate the total right on at 47. I got lucky, but I was on the right side by a toe, like you said. But hey, man, that's hey, look, a good handicap, guys. Hey, we can all have winning records. We can win championships. We can have bad seasons. All we can do is handicap a game and hope to be in it in the last 2 games, in the last 2 minutes, last inning, last whatever it is, last set. That's all we can do. And last night was a perfect example.
Yeah, sure was. There. So let's cover the games here today. We're going to start with the NFL here as we got the Packers and Eagles going head-to-head in Brazil. Here, and take a look at the line. Looks like the Eagles here are going to be favored 2.5 in some places. I will tell you here that the sharper books have 2.5. 2 is spattered around some of the books as well. We'll start here with Rod.
Yeah, and you look at this game tonight. Definitely going to be a wild game, I think. Kind of like what we've seen last night. Another close, tight finish that comes right down to the wire. Both these teams expected to do well this season with Green Bay and Philly. Philly definitely changed it all up. New offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. They didn't like what they were doing last year, but they like what they're doing now, and they like those guys in there, and they expect their chances. But we haven't seen anything on the field from a new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. So huge question marks on the Eagles for me. We know where the Packers are going with Love, and they gave them a few more weapons to throw to on offense. That defense was already solid by the Packers. So only one way to go for me. You're going to give me points? I'm going to take the Packers outright on the money line here. I think they can, in Mexico here, get the win. I'm going to go with Green Bay in this one.
Yeah, Green Bay there in Brazil there. Brazil.
A little more south. A little more
south. They got betting stands right there at the arena.
It's kind of Jorge.
Well, that I am jealous of. I'm not jealous of many things. I really don't care. I don't go that far. But to say you can walk in the game, you got a betting kiosk, that's bull crap. We don't have that.
Right?
But guys, I look again. I'm way situational now. I'm way different. But Ron, I was more all straight stats with you. I had Andy Isco around me. I had all these guys that had information, so I had to bring my own information. But man, I'm so situational now, it's crazy. But I was taught this by some of the older guys in town. You look at the Eagles, man. One team started 2-5, one was 10-1, went 1-5, and one ended up in the playoffs. They've really tanked, and one of the weaknesses that Mr. Hurts has after he got his big contract is he can't pick up the blitz. Last year, he was blitzed the most of all quarterbacks, 80% quarterback rating when he's blitzed. Green Bay blitzes 10th ranked on the amount of times that they blitz. I think that everybody's fully aware of this now, and I think that had a lot to do with how they treated him at the end of last year. So now he's in a new offense, 95% new according to him, and now he's got to do a bunch of reads before instead of doing the option read. That's the bad thing about that offense, guys. You know, like guys with athleticism can show that they can throw the ball. And hey, kudos to Lamar Jackson, right? He's one of those guys. He dropped weight. He looked great last night, skinny, running around and still running a little too much, but throwing the ball well, a lot better than he did when he was heavier. We'll see. Can that happen with the Eagles in one game? No. I like Green Bay as well too. It's a toss-up, really. To me, it's not a toss-up. Green Bay on a neutral field is -2. To me, maybe 2.5. I really think it's on the opposite thing. I agree with Rod with what he said. I'll probably have a play on the total. I'm not sure where I'm at that yet, but I definitely do like the side of the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm going to look on the side on this one. I'm going to look here at the Packers. I think their defense improving. The change of defensive coordinator, moving to a 4-3. Coupled by that offensive line here for the Packers, give them the edge here in Brazil. All right, let's continue here on our morning show, joined by Rod and Jorge. Before we continue here on college football, maybe let everybody know what's going on over 26. Rod, what do you got for sale today?
And over 26 right now, I got my 10-star play of the day up, momentarily putting up 3 plays in college football, so I'll have a nice little 3-pack there. And I'll probably find one more MLB because, it's Friday, so it'll be Steak Friday over at Tony's Picks momentarily, where I'll have a 5-pack today because I see some nice spots that we can make some money. So don't forget to use that Tony T pick code at checkout. Save 15% off. I feel like a tongue twister there.
It is. Thanks for the off. Now you know how I feel, Rod. Dealing with 2 promo codes.
Right?
Yeah.
Definitely heading over. Love this weekend's action. Loaded card. So join me. Let's have a massive weekend. And don't forget that 2-for-1 capper promotional. Still love it. Always getting 2 cappers, putting money in your pockets. Way to go. You look at how Jorge's been in college football. We both, he went 11-4. I went 11-5. Wow. How much money you'd be up already to kick off the year in college football. Pair me and Jorge up and have yourself a big weekend of football. We love football, don't we, Jorge?
Absolutely.
What do you got for sale, Jorge?
Right now, I got to play on this early game, and in MLB. I got some great information on that one. I'm not even going to let the cat out of the bag. The Cubs did bounce back against the Pirates 12-0. They had a little bit of a lull there. I don't know. They've been scoring a lot of runs, man. And I love to follow the trends in baseball, but not a 10-run-a-game trend. I mean, that's a little bit much. If it was 5, 6.5 runs, I was like, all right, sweet. These guys could do that between 9, 10 guys, half hit and half not. But anyway, we'll have to see where they play. Yankees, they're struggling. They started super hot. They've lost their last 3 series. So, they need to get themselves in gear for the playoffs. So I think that's kind of where that game's at. On the side, I'll lean a little bit towards the Cubs. They've just been winning, and they've needed to get into the playoffs. So I'll side with the Cubs on that a little bit.
All right, so check out Tony's picks. Get Jorge's plays up there. I've got a best
Tony,
bet up.
Tony, I forgot. You did some explanation to me. I'm kind of new. Rod's been around a little bit longer on the platform. I'm definitely pushing the late steams where you buy the week package. I'm going to be on top of those. I love making some of my best plays. Have always been late before games have started. Back during my days when I was just betting before I became a professional. And Tony T's Picks is really the only site that's in grasping, or what am I trying to say? Not grasp, but taking it full steam. Bad pun. But make it a late steam where you can really embrace some of those line moves and benefit from it instead of having it up all day. So I'm definitely going to be working on late steams, putting up some late steam plays for you, Tony. And, of course, everyone, correct me if I'm wrong, but anyone who gets a weekly package just gets all those emailed them to them directly between 2 hours and 10 minutes, correct?
That's correct. So any capper if you purchase a long-term pass, be it a 3-day, 7-day, 1 year, the late steams are included. That means if a capper puts in a play between 10 minutes and 2 hours before game time, that pick is emailed directly into your inbox. So you'll get your regular membership plays, but the late steam is a feature for those long-term subscribers. Keep an eye there, as Jorge outlined. It's something I knew over the years that the cappers and the bettors as well, loving to put plays in late. We were able to design a system where long-term customers can get the late steam plays emailed directly to them when they subscribe to long-term passes. I got a best bet on the board right now. I'll have a multi-pack as well, mixing up college football with baseball. So get on board with me over at Tony's Picks. Promo code Tony T at checkout, save that 15% off. All right, let's get to the college football here for today. We'll get started here with BYU and SMU head-to-head here. Rod, how do you see it?
Yeah, BYU and SMU going head-to-head. Everywhere I'm looking is SMU supposed to just run right over BYU, but not so fast. This BYU team led by Jake Ratzliff at QB. First game out looked real good, completing 66% of his passes, thrown for 348 yards, 3 TDs, no interceptions. If he plays like that, definitely going to be right there hanging with SMU. You look at SMU, sure, that first game of the year they played Nevada and struggled. Did get the win, but definitely battled in it. And it was a close, tight game. The next game out, look who they played. I'm not even going to take onus in that. That's one of those ones that was like it was almost like a scrimmage for SMU, because it was no doubt they were going to win that one. So here in this one against BYU, you're getting both offenses that can move the ball. That's what you get here. SMU definitely has an offense that can put up the points. And guess what? I think BYU can hang with them and put up the points. So the way to go for me here is to take the over. I believe I see it at 55.5 in places. Definitely shop it around. But I think we usually get into the 60s here between these two teams. I like an offensive showcase in this one tonight.
There you go from Rob, gone over to Jorge.
Well, I grew up with a bunch of Mormons here in Las Vegas, and my mentors are prototypical Jews. And my buddy's an ex-Mormon bishop, and he calls them the BYU Jews at quarterback. And he is a gamer, man. He is awesome, and that's 100% affectionate. They love him there at quarterback, and BYU. Hey, I got to give it to BYU, man. They've always just been, hey, you got to be real religious to come to school. They got over to the Big 12, and they've adjusted. It's like, hey, we want to be on the big stage. So they've laxed a little bit some of their codes and gotten some better players on there. Definitely in basketball, we've seen that, guys. So you can't. And I told them it'll take you a couple of years, and BYU's there now. They're participating in the NIL. The football team is much improved. And all joking aside, he is a very good quarterback. He's a gamer. You know what I mean? I'll put up the stats of past Jim McMahon or some of the Steve Young days when they were throwing all over the place. But he will lead a drive down the field and get him some points. Southern Illinois was a team that had some upsets against some, Division I schools. And they went in there and took care of them. It was a little slow starting, but they were able to finish it off playing defense and offense. I think they're comfortable with the quarterback now. I would take that plus the points.
That's points there from Jorge. I have to agree that with the plus the points there. I think what's happened with BYU is, boy, they were just, when you read some of the publications, they were like the longest shot on the board to win the Big 12. A lot of people were down on this program. So a lot of negative stuff written about them. But just from my overall perspective, a really good program. Satake, I'm a fan of him. And I do believe here that BYU can get within this number 11.5 in this one. They do bring back most of the receiving core here for Gesloff in his second year back. I think you're going to see an improvement here, second year at the quarterback position. All right, let's continue here on the morning show on TonySpeaks.com. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Shout out there to Cliff Floyd. Thank you very much for your contributions here on the channel. Let's continue the next one here. I was looking at this total. I thought Iowa was playing here, but Duke and Northwestern head-to-head here. We see Northwestern about 1.5, total 37.5. We start with Rod.
Yeah, and you look at this one, definitely looks like Iowa playing in this one, right? 37.5 and dropping. So, and more people on the over than what's on the under. So I'm kind of leaning to an under here. Both defenses solid defensively. Duke definitely can hold teams down. Northwestern definitely the same. You can go into Utah last year and hang with what they did there. And we know what that Utes defense was like. They even got the win in that one, did Northwestern. So I lean on Northwestern, but I am going to go with the under. Shop that number. I see it 36.5 in spots, 37. But either way, I think both teams are going to run the ball and try to run it hard. I think we're going to see a lot of game in between inside the 20s in this one. Slobber knocker, whoever wins the battle of the trench is going to win this one. Lean to Northwestern. Give me the under, though.
And there from Rob. We move on over to Jorge.
Yeah, no, I can't really disagree with that. And more by what they had before, what they don't have now. With Leonard heading over to Notre Dame to be their starting quarterback, that's big shoes to replace, right? And these are academic schools. They can put together certain teams, but they're not going to have the pipelines coming in behind them. That's just kind of been what we find with some of these schools. Even though I will say I still consider them programs. Northwestern more of a football one. Duke definitely a basketball program school. But again, I think both of them are going to be pretty much along the lines as Rod said. I'm not sure what I'm going on the side just yet. I'm going to dig some more information out there, but I'm definitely on the under. I think they don't have the offensive quarterbacks. I don't think they want to throw it all over the field. I think they only want to throw when they want to. So I'm on the under as well.
Or under 200. So I'll be the guy going over in this one. I think Malik Murphy at quarterback, running style quarterback, could make some things happen in the open field. I know Manny Diaz is now a defensive style coach. I think this is just a tad bit too low on the total here. I know Northwestern team that's really improved a program that we thought was going to hit rock bottom, but did a great job of turning around this program. I'll be the guy to do that one, going over the total there with Duke and Northwestern. I would expect improvement from both offenses after their openers as well. All right, let's continue here on the morning show as we move over to baseball. We're going to do a familiar format how you guys are used to. We're going to do 3 games at a time so we'll get through the games. So we'll start here. This set of games will be Yankees, Cubs, Rockies, Brewers, Nationals, Pirates. We started off with Rod.
Yeah, and for me in this time slot, I'm looking at the Rockies here in this one after, they got a win in Atlanta. So my fade the Rockies train. We're still 2-1 because they did get one win. That was the last one there in Atlanta. But with Feltner going on the mound in this one here tonight, you look at on the other side. It's Montas going for the Brewers. Feltner's 1-9 his last 10. He hasn't had a good season. I definitely not put my money on Feltner and the dog in this one after the travel spot. And the Brewers bats have been hot. I think they easily get to Colorado in this one. I'm going to go with the run line in that one. And you look at the Pirates. They beat Washington the last time out, and I think they continue. Hearns on the mound for Washington. He had a good little spot there where he was pitching not too bad, but his last time out, he got rocked by the Cubs. Went 4.2 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 walks. That's his big problem. He's control issues. 2 walks, 3 walks, 2 walks, 2 walks, 4 walks. And that definitely doesn't equate to helping your team get wins with DJ Herz on the mound. So with DJ Herz on the mound, I'd rather see Ortiz, and Ortiz definitely pitching better than what Herz has. And the Pirates in the spot, I got to go with the Pirates over Washington and the Nationals in this one.
All right, we got to go over to Jorge. Yankees, Cubs, Rockies, Brewers, Nationals, and Pirates.
I'm just going to roll with the Milwaukee's hot offense on here and say lean to the total over 7.5. 6-3-1 over for their last 10 games for Milwaukee. Colorado, I just never know with them. Obviously, they don't have very good pitching. I can't disagree with anything Rod said about either one of their pitching. I'm not sure why this game isn't at 8.5. Wind's blown out a little bit to right center. I'll be on the over.
Or there on the over. And the way I look at these games here at this time slot, I'll be looking at over here with the Yankees and the Cubs. I know the bullpens have really struggled over the past 10 games. Both bullpens ERA near 11, and each team hitting pretty well over that span of games. New York's gone over in 6 straight, Cubs 11 of 13. And, of course, in the Rockies and Rockies and Brewers, I'll be also on the run line in that one with Milwaukee. Colorado's lost 11 of 14 on the road. And it's really the bullpen has been outstanding here for this Brewers team over their past 10. Nationals and Pirates, my man, a baby face Herz on the mound. Going to go against you, baby face. Although you've been pitching a little better since coming back. I'm going to take the Pirates minus 125. Nationals, they did not look very good last night. They're losing. They lost 5 of 6 over their past 10 games, hitting 237. Ortiz allowed 2 earned runs or fewer in 3 of his past 4 starts. So I'll be looking here at the Pirates in that one. All right, let's continue here on our morning show. They're joined by Jorge and Rod Zawacki. Guys, make sure you like, subscribe, hit those notifications to get our free picks from you guys. All right, let's get to the next series of games here on our slate, on this 15-game slate here from Major League Baseball. Rays, Orioles, Reds, Mets, Phillies, Marlins. We start with Rod.
Yeah, and then this time slot here, you look at the Rays taking on Baltimore here, and Shane Baz is getting a start here. Dean Kramer on the other side of the bump for Baltimore, and I don't want to land any kind of juice with Dean Kramer on the mound. You look what he's done. His last 2 starts, he's given up 13 hits and 7 earned runs, 3 walks. So definitely not a guy I want to back. He had a good little stretch there where I would say a couple games he looked real well, but most of the time he's given up 4 runs, 5 runs, 3 runs, 4 runs. So and the Baltimore Bats, sure, they got hot in the last series, but coming against Tampa, we know a little different. I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Rays in that one over Baltimore. And you look at the other one, we go Cincinnati Reds and the Mets. No, Sean Manaea, he's definitely stepped up and started to pitch. You look, he's winner. They've won 7 of his last 8 starts. Have the Mets, man, and hasn't given up more than 3 runs in any of those starts as well. So he's definitely turned it up as Sean Manaea. So I got to bet the Mets. The Mets with their hot bats. We did see the Reds sweep the Astros, but I don't trust them here in the spot. That's on the road here are these Reds, and definitely not a spot. Give me the Mets in that one. And the other one went Phillies and Marlins. Cabrera's on the mound, so I'm going to take the Marlins in the first 5. I don't trust that Marlins bullpen. And with Cabrera on the mound going against Wheeler, I like the duel here in this one. Lower scoring one, so I kind of like the under first 5 as well. But I'm going to lean to the Marlins to scoop up the win over the Phillies on that one. I think it's a flat spot for Philly. And Marlins take advantage. Give me Cabrera, first 5.
And from Rob, we go over to Jorge.
I'll take first 5 if you can get the run line and take the Phillies. Wheeler's hot, and Miami's just not. And I've gone against Wheeler a couple times. They just it hasn't tasted very good. It just for some reason when he has a hiccup, he has a hiccup. But the guy's been super steady. He's a quality outing. You know what I mean? He's just one of those guys you look and say you're going to get 6 innings, 3 runs or less, for the most part. And then he's gotten hot. So my slight lead, and then I'll follow around to that a little bit. First 5, if we can get it on the run line with Philly.
There we go from Jorge. The way I look at these games here today, look at the Baltimore Orioles and the spot Baz. Pretty good numbers over his past 6 starts. Creamer has had struggles, but really to me, it comes down to the Orioles bullpen over their past 10 games. And Tampa Bay, just a light hitting team. I just don't trust them as much on the road. 220 over their past 10 games. Orioles have won 4 of 6 at home. Tampa on the road has dropped 5 of 7. Look at the Orioles in that spot. Reds and Mets. In this one, I'm going to look at the dog here at the Reds plus 154. Quintana has been hammered in his 4 home starts, 17 earned runs, 7 homers in 20 and third innings. We know New York, and both teams are in winning streaks here. 7 for the Yanks. I'm sorry, for the Mets. For the Reds, 4. But the Reds hitting the ball well over their past 10. This is a streaking Reds team. Everybody's talked about it, right? When they're streaking up, when you go with them. When they're streaking down, you fade them. I'll look at the Reds in that spot. Phillies and Marlins, I'm going to go under 7.5. Wheeler, man, he's been a stud, right? 11 of his past 12 starts, 2 earned runs allowed or fewer. Cabrera in his past 4 home start carries an ERA under 3. Both bullpens in good form over the past 10. Miami under in 5 of 7. Phillies under in 6 and 9. I'll look under there with Miami and Philadelphia. All right, let's continue here on the morning show as we're getting ready here for the next series of games here on this 15-game card for Major League Baseball for Friday. We'll start it off here with White Sox, Red Sox, Blue Jays, Braves, Angels, and Rangers. We go on over to Rod.
Yeah, and you look at in this spot, you know what? I'm going to take a shot here with the Blue Jays going against Atlanta. For some reason, you look at the Blue Jays, had a day off here. Atlanta just lost to the Rockies. I know Fried has been pitching well, but he did get touched up last time by the Phillies. He did go 7 innings, gave up 5 hits, 4 walks. And that's what happens with Fried. He gets in trouble. He can give up a few too many walks for my liking. And those can equate to a lot of runs. You look 4 walks, 3 walks. He's averaging at least 2.3 walks over his last 10 starts. And then his last time out, he got in trouble with the long ball as well. And his Blue Jays definitely play a little bit looser than what they did at the start of the season, as they got no pressure on them anymore. They know they're not going to make the postseason run, so they just played spoiler here in the spot. And what is it, 9 straight they've beat up on the Braves? Give me the Jays in that one. Don't even do that. And the White Sox taking on Boston. This looks like a bounce back spot for Boston, but I'm going to take the over 8.5. Pavetta on the mound. I think this White Sox can throw in a couple of runs, and with Martin on the mound for the White Sox, I think these Boston bats might wake up and crush the White Sox a little bit in that one. So I like the over there. And what was the last one we went to? Angels, Texas?
Angels, Texas. That's correct.
Angels,
Yes.
Texas. And then you're looking at Angels in Texas, and don't look now, but here comes Texas. Just when you thought that they're coming back from the dead, here they come. There's only one spot. I just can't. It's almost like the tombstone thing went off, and the Undertaker stood up and said, "Hey, we're not quite done yet. We're going to give you a little bit of hope here in Texas." Because
they're kicking the casket open, right?
Yeah, exactly. Kicked the casket open, and he stood up, and he's like, "Yeah,
Halloween early,
right?" So, a tough travel spot for the Angels here in this one after having to play last night and then going to Texas. And for me, it's just you got to keep riding Texas. Guess what? They're getting hot. That bullpen's heating up. So, give me the Rangers in that one over the Angels.
From Rob, we move on over to Jorge.
Man, baseball is a weird game to bet, and it's a lot of streaks built within it, but it isn't. But it is one thing that is a streak that is unexplainable is not getting run support, and that'll have me on the under against Cincinnati here in the Mets. And it's gone. There's several pitchers going through it right now, but I don't think there's anyone worse going through it than Fernando Cruz. He's 1-4 in his last 5 games with an ERA of 1.86. Now, he hasn't pitched for very much. It's a bullpen by committee situation. But, again, I don't see any run support coming there. And in those specific games, and also when the Mets have Mr. if I say that right, Manea on the mound, he's been solid all year. He's 4-1, 3.52. But you know what? These Mets have not impressed me on offense other than that they're very clutch. I will take them minus a run and a half plus 120.
There we go from Jorge. Okay, I'll tell you what I think about these games here, and we'll look at the White Sox. I think this is a spot I'm going to take the White Sox here, that big plus money. This Red Sox team, man, they've lost 10 of 13. Their bullpen has been pounded since that Dodgers series that we saw coming off the All-Star break. Martin is past 3 starts, 8 runs allowed in 14 of 3 innings. Pivetta in his past 3 home starts, 12 earned runs, 3 homers in 17 of 3 innings. I'll look for this spot here for the White Sox to win their 1 game a month for the month of September. In the Phillies, we got this one. We did Phillies, Marlins. We're going over to Toronto and Atlanta, right? Toronto, Atlanta. I'm going to take the Blue Jays here at the plus price. You look at Fried over his past 6 starts, an ERA near 5. Both bullpens have an ERA near 4 over their past 10. The Blue Jays bats have woke up. Here's another team trying to push the casket open. The Blue Jays here. So I'll look at in that spot with Toronto. I'm going to look at the Rangers here. Rangers won 8 of 10. LA has lost 8 of 9 on the road. You look at the past 10 games, the Angels hit just 178. We'll look here at Texas in this spot. All right, let's continue.
Hey guys, another angle to look at too is it's call-up season's over. It's not the same as it was before. They kind of call up guys all throughout the season. But some of these are youth movements, right? Some of these guys are like, hey, they're literally trying out for the team coming up next year. So kind of take a look at that. And I know the Nationals run a little bit of a hot streak in the past. But now at this time of year, if they're not in the playoffs, the young guys want to play spoiler. It means something to them. So even though they may not have a shot at the playoffs, take a peek over there and see if the rest of some guys are giving some youngsters a chance. Sometimes they build some chemistry rather quickly.
That's right. No doubt about that one. All right, let's continue on here as we take a look at the next series of games from Major League Baseball from this card. And we've got here in this set Twins, Royals, D-backs, and Astros, a pretty good series. Mariners and Cardinals. We start with Rod.
Yeah, and look at the games here in this one, in this side spot. When you look, Diamondbacks taking on Houston, and Houston, after getting swept back at home here, at home isn't where they played their best ball. So, and the way Arizona's been playing, I kind of got to go here with the dog in that one and take a shot with Arizona. I know that the Astros have been dominant over Arizona, but first meeting this year between these two teams, they did sweep last year, but a little bit of revenge here in this one. Arizona playing a little bit better baseball after the Astros lost, getting swept by the Reds. Not what I expected from the Astros and bats. You look at it, the bats have went cold. Talking about run support, as Jorge said earlier, run support, the Astros definitely haven't been getting it. And in a lot of games, Arizona definitely been getting the run support. I know their bullpen scares me a little bit, but I got to take the shot here with Arizona and be plus money in that one. And then you look at the other one, Did you say San Francisco and San Diego?
No, we had Twins,
Uh-oh.
Royals, D-backs, Astros, Mariners, Cardinals.
Okay. And you look at Minnesota and the Royals in that one. Matthews on the mound for the Twins, and he's been so. Rookie, young guy. I've seen some bright spots from him, but his last time out, he got rocked. The Blue Jays rocked him. He went 2 innings. In the 2 innings, he had 10 hits, 9 earned runs, 3 home runs. The long ball's got him in trouble. It's not like he's been walking a whole lot of guys. Definitely got the power to strike guys out, but still looking for his first win. And Cole Raggins on the other side for the Royals. Definitely, he's like win one, lose one, win one, lose one. His last time out, he gave up 4 hits, couple walks, 5 earned runs over 5 innings of work. You can expect 4 or 5 innings of work from him here. And I think he can give up some runs as well. So I got to go with the over between the Twins and Kansas City at 7.5. I think we can easily sneak up and over that total in that one.
Gone over to Jorge.
All right. Going over to the Arizona and Houston game. Yeah, really got to jump on that run support issue there. Framber Valdez, 4-1, 1.59 ERA over his last 5 starts. Last inning, he was able to win. He got 3 runs, 7 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts, no hits. So, I mean, this guy, and 98 pitches. So, I think he's okay. He's not pitching. He seems like he can handle pitching in 3 digits without a problem and not getting hit afterward. That's something I really look at these days because these guys is reduced pitch count. And definitely on this one is Arizona with the dog. Early last year, I jumped on these guys. I go, you know what? These guys are just gamers. I don't know what this manager's doing, but it seems like whoever he puts into that lineup, they don't have to hit a home run. They just keep getting hits. And once that offense starts going, it looks like a softball team sometimes or a baseball team. And it's just whatever guys up hits. So I'm going to take them plus the money here as a dog against Houston, who's struggling to score some offense for their pitchers.
There with Jorge. All right, well, I'll tell you how I think about these games here. In this spot, I'll be looking at the Twins at the plus money here. Even though Zebby Matthews got hammered his last start, he does have some pretty good numbers. Reagan's in his past 3 starts allowed 12 runs, 9 walks in 14 innings. Casey's lost 7 of 8. And you look at the Royals bullpen over their past 10, an ERA of 5.5, and they're only hitting .213. It's been a bit of a slide here for the Royals. Everybody predicted this, but they were able to bounce back. But this may be the time where they just they're out of it here in September. Look at the Twins at the plus price. D-backs in Houston. I'm going to go over 8. I know it's a bit of a stretch for Framber, but Fad has been getting hammered over his past 4 starts, 19 runs in 22 and a third innings. Valdez has been solid here, but the D-backs have gone over 9 of 11, and they do hit the left-handers. And you look at the D-backs bullpen over their past 10 games, in ERA 6.5, but they're hitting .280. So I'll look at the over in that one. And Mariners and Cardinals, well, in that one, I'm going to look at St. Louis here. The Mariners, again, they've had struggles on the road, losing 13 of 17. The Mariners over the past 10, 235. A lot of that was bumped up with that big run explosion against Oakland. You take those numbers out, and it's going to be pretty brutal there for Seattle. Miller here, I know he's had some pretty good numbers. Fetty, past 4 starts, ERA of 4.30. But again, it's about the Cardinals bats for me, and I'll look at them in that spot. All right, let's continue here on our morning show as we take a look here at the next series of games. And the next series of games will be the Giants, Padres, Tigers, Athletics, Guardians, and Dodgers. We start with Rod.
Yeah, I look at the games in this time slot. Definitely not my favorite slot going here. You look at the Padres rolling right along and then gave up a grand slam to get walked off basically by the Tigers in that one. So Michael King, though, on the mound has been solid for the Padres. So I expect to bounce back from them. So I would lean to the Padres in that one, but I'm definitely not rushing to the window. That one burned me yesterday, so I'm going to stay away from the Padres in that one. And Detroit with Skubal on the mound. Hey, Detroit playing pretty good ball. But the problem is their bats. I don't know how many times I've seen Skubal pitch a gem, and then they just don't score enough. It's like they did get San Diego. It took that one swing of the bat to get the 4 runs late in that one to get the win. And I've seen it many a times where Skubal pitching a gem, but the Tigers just don't give enough run support. So give me Oakland and the big plus price in that one. We know what they do at home. And battle between the Guardians and the Dodgers. I like the over 9 in that one. you look at Boyd on the bump for the Guardians, and sure, he's had a half decent return. You look, he's went 6 innings, and he's only given up one and a run. So he's looked good in that. I'm waiting for a blip from Mr. Boyd. We know that so far this season, his ERA has been sitting at about 2.38, and normally I think he's 3, 4, 5 ERA guy. So give me the over in that one.
Yeah, from Rod, we move on over to Jorge.
All right. Well, since my dog started barking during that A's game that Rod was saying, there he goes. He's doing it again. He's a 65-pound puppy that thinks he's 25 pounds. So sorry for the extra noise. But I'm under the A's. A's have been a good under team to follow all year long. I'm not real happy with them coming to Vegas, to be honest. But again, I'll give credit where credit is due. They are 6-4 in their last 10, and they're just playing solid baseball. You got them at home plus $1.40 against Detroit. I mean, Detroit's playing well too. Got to give it to them. Some solid pitching over their last 10 games. But I don't know. I'll take Oakland in this one here. I don't think there's been any dominance on pretty much any side of this. Actually, the A's have won the last 2 after Detroit was on a little bit of a hot start on them. But I'll take the dog here on this one. Switching over to the Dodgers game. Dodgers doing a pretty good job of hitting lefties all year long. And I don't think that's going to change here in this spot. It's ideal for them in these night games, Tony. And, it's never really sure how the weather is going to be for hitting the ballpark there. But they're expecting it to be high scoring. I see a 9 out there plus money. It's kind of hard to pass that up. But I'd look for a 8.5 with the Dodgers not committed to a starter just yet.
Yeah, we're looking at some triple-digit numbers here. Temperature 105, 109. It's really, really hot weekend here in LA. We'll see how that transpires at night because it's a little different than Vegas. At night, it cools down a little bit, but still the ball will travel there in that late summer air. The way I look at these games here, I'll be in the Detroit game. In Oakland, I'll be looking under in that one. Screwball, 2 earned runs allowed or fewer in 4 or 5. Spence has allowed 2 earned runs or fewer in 6 of 8. But it's really coming down to that Detroit bullpen that's been pretty good here over the past 10 games. ERA of 1.41. Only batting .233 in that period. But I don't know if you guys saw that last night. But, man, that grand slam in the 9th inning, what a clutch hit there for the Tigers. Down 3-0. The Padres, the Tigers load the bases in the 9th inning. Their closer was up there with 2 outs. And the Tigers hit a grand slam home run to go up 4-3 in the 9th. They closed it out in the bottom of the 9th. And it was a great win there for the Tigers, but I like the under in that one with Screwball. Giants and Padres. I'm going to look for a bounce here from the Padres. I'll take them on the run line in this spot. King has been really sharp over his start 9 of his past 10 starts. Been solid performance there. Giants have lost 6 of 8. Padres won 11 of 15 at home. And with the Giants, bats have just been too weak, right? Boy, they had to sweat out that one for Snell the other day. So I'll look in that spot there with the Padres run line. LA here and the Guardians, let's see. I thought it was going to be announced. Landon Knack announced the starter here, so that's the announced starter. We'll see if they go with him in this spot. It's just really for me. I look at the Dodgers at this price. Let's see what the price is about 147 or so. 147. Yeah, I look at LA. It's just the fact that Dodgers at home. They've been playing well at home of late. They've won 10 of 12. Cleveland has dropped 6 of 9 on the road. That's really where their skid has begun, is when they're on the road. They had some struggles at home of late as well. Look over their past 10. LA hitting about 270. I'll look at the Dodgers here at minus 144 in this spot. All right, we'll continue here on our live show. Looks like we got through our sports. And before we let everybody know what we have for sale. I'll add this segment. I do this on the other shows. We'll call this our parlay peripheral segment, where you guys can give a parlay or give a peripheral. Maybe you want to give a week 1 pick from NFL, week 1 college football. We're going to go off the rails here. Rod, what do you got?
We're going to go with a little parlay here today. I like the over Dodgers. What is it? 8, 9, right? Yeah, over 9. Cleveland, Guardians, and the Dodgers. Take the over 9 in that one. And we're going to pair that up with Texas. And we're going to pair that up with the Blue Jays. Little 3-teamer for everybody. Love that 3-teamer today. Scoop that up.
Teamer there from Ron. We've gone over to Jorge.
All right. Well, I'm not a parlay guy, but and that's a little bit of contrarian to some of these. But I will do money line dog parlays because you got to take a shot at the book to beat them. Otherwise, you lose it out on juice. So I'll do a 2-team parlay, which I have no problem doing, but both will be underdogs. I'll take Oakland plus $1.35 on that one. And Rod gave such a good handicap on that Atlanta-Toronto game. If they're picking on Atlanta that bad, I'll pair that up with plus $1.45.
All right, the way I look at it here, I'll give you a pick from college football Saturday. I like the over here in UTSA and Texas State. That'll be my pick here for this segment. All right, we'll continue here. Let's find out what the guys have for sale at Tony'sPicks.com. Big Friday, 15-game card for Major League Baseball, college football, NFL. Head into a huge weekend. Rod, what do you got going? What do you got for sale?
And for me going for sale, I got to have a 3-pack in college football momentarily. Just have to throw it up there for everybody. And then I'll have a couple of plays in MLB. I've got my 10-star play up as well. And, I'm still looking at that NFL one. Might have a play on the total in it. But, I'll have a stacked college football card. And 16 plays last college football Saturday. So definitely jump aboard something long-term. That's the best value to you. And that way you don't miss out on any of those plays. You get notified by an email when you're on a long-term package on those late steam plays. Because sometimes we can find some of those late information plays that something comes out, someone gets hurt in the pregame warm-up, and sometimes you get some giant information and some nice spots to make some money. So when you're on long-term, you get emailed those picks. So definitely jump aboard long-term is the way to go.
There we go. All right, what do you got for sale?
Well, I got my interleague total of the month going. There's some pretty good information on that early game. So to get them some money to build it up for the weekend, that is on the Yankees and the Cubs. Overall, definitely going to be pounding the late steam starting today and over the weekend. I was going back and forth with Tony last night trying to make sure I executed those correctly, and I've already got some up there. And it's different, guy. I got to tell you, folks, it's different, but it is a very cool feature. A lot of the guys I know that are sharp bettors, that are off the radar, they're not pros. They're just guys that make money gambling, make it a lot of their moves early and a lot of their moves late. And a lot of the times you see the groups come in and bet late. So I'm a situational bettor, which is nowadays they call it market betting. I call it watching line moves, right? So definitely look for my it's a 3-day package as well, Tony?
Yes, 3 days, 7, 38, up to a year.
All right, awesome. So I'm going to be pushing those packages, and I'm also going to make a huge effort to have late steam plays for all the customers.
There you go from Ron. Of course, I got a best bet on the board right now here from NFL. Also have a multi-pack I'm working on here as well. So we'll get on board with that over at Tony'sPicks.com. Remember, use the promo code TonyT at checkout. You'll save 15% off all packages. So get on board. Remember, the one-day passes are also profit guaranteed there. So you'll get more information. Click the link in the description. Find more information about Tony'sPicks.com. All right, before we exit the show, you guys have any last thoughts, Rod? Or Jorge?
Hey, I'll throw it. Like I did give out. We talked to Rod. Kind of mentioned about SMU that they didn't play very well that first game. I got to tell you what. As much as UNLV's improved, they may not be the best team in the state. Reno is balling. They got the defensive coordinator from Texas. They were up, I think, almost 13. I think they were up 13 points against SMU in the fourth quarter. Ended up losing. All they did was go down to Troy, beat Troy. Straight up, came down to the end of the game, and Troy's not one of those teams that needed or they went through the transfer portal. They have guys returning. That's a huge win to go win in Troy. And now they're back at home, plus points against Georgia Southern. That altitude, it makes a big difference for some of these down south games. Again, situational betting. I gave that one out earlier, and definitely want to tease that a little bit. Obviously, Rod and I did fantastic to start the first week, and I hope to have a winning week again in the second one. But definitely started off with that Nevada pick. As much as I don't like them in the interstate rivalry, I do root for them outside of it just as a Nevada fan. But the reality is they're playing some good football right now, and they should be favored over a smaller school at home.
There we go from Ori. You got anything? All right.
Rod, I think they are, aren't they? Didn't that line move? I did that line move. I did that line flip. I think they were a dog, but
you
now
must have put that play out, Rod, and moved the line.
I think they moved. I think they flipped. I think they are about 1.5 favorites now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in that one. I like the over. I think, as you said, improved that defense there that they're facing. Ole! No defense there in that one, so I like the over as a little bonus play for everybody in the Nevada game. How can you not? They're going against the defense that's ooh. So I like the over there, but yeah, I'm excited. Big college football weekend again. As Jorge said, we had a good start. It's not nothing new for us in college football. My favorite sport. It's been my best sport since I started handicapping over the last 4 years. So definitely jump aboard college football.
Absolutely. And I know, Jorge and Rod with me here. I know we'll give Rod in the future. We'll be having some videos on the channel as well. So keep an eye there, guys. Like and subscribe. All right. Well, let it roll here, guys. Gonna wait goodbye, guys. You guys make it a great afternoon, evening, making a winning one. We'll be back here tomorrow.